Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
Thank you very much. It's a pride to be here.
Why do you think that there is such a sharp increase?
Unemployment, Yahoo Yahoo, out of school children who have gone to learn how to play on the road or on the street. I also think if you scale it a little bit higher, psychologists will tell you that part of it is unemployment. You cannot get gainful employment. And those of our youths who go to school are structured to pursuing a particular career because their parents want them to get in there and not their passion. And so after spending some time in school, maybe frustration steps in, and then they decide to use inverted integer to get knowledge and begin to look for money at all costs. I also think that another remote factor is the prevalence of drugs. And a bad example that you see flying in the stratosphere. Our culture, I'm careful to say this, but our culture and our music sometimes also a catalyst where they say that you work little and you get big gain, or religious institutions that talk about wealth without work and without stress. And if our population has been gradually growing and bloating and approaching the over 200 million, you have nothing. Okay, population is growing, educational institution is dwindling, the capacity for family love and care is dwindling, discipline is going down, the coefficient that you are likely to have is a situation where people take to cybercrime. Poverty of the mind, poverty of the pockets. I think it's more of poverty of the mind that drives a man and a woman to believe that he can come into an edifice and take the whole Commonwealth, pot and pan. I want to go away and do with them. You see, there is a point when the thing now becomes a psychotic problem in his or her mind. I want to take one for today, I want to take one for tomorrow, I want to take some for my children, forgetting a factor that you can actually take one today and enjoy yourself. You may not wake up tomorrow. And if you don't wake up tomorrow and you have packed everything that belongs to the Commonwealth, what does that do to you? You decide that you are going to get a Rolls Royce because you want to belong. Nice. So the whole village now thinks that you have arrived and they clap for you. In the church pews, you are in the front seats. In the mosque, you are in the front row. In the shrines, they begin to sing your name out there. Then you put this Rolls Royce on the road. Which road? The road that you have not maintained, or in an environment where to maintain this Rolls Royce will cost you an arm and a leg. So you want to behave like the Joneses, as they say, but you are not a Jones. That form of poverty is very prevalent, and I think for me to put a bit of a number in all the factors, I think is the ground norm, the real foundation of why cybercrime has gone the way it is. Poverty of the mind, poverty of the knowledge, poverty of the fact that I don't know if you have seen a swimmer who knows how to win so many medals, and yet still wants to do things in a crime way, then you begin to ask, why? I mean, without this crime, you are on and about. Why do you want to have the greed? And you know, poverty is also greed. Poverty is also a feeling that you don't have enough, when fear that unlike Ujama, when all of us become winners. When all of us become winners, you are a super winner. But if you are going to be the only one that will continue to want to win, you are a blind man. I mean, you are a one-eyed man in the city of the blind. Okay. You are as well being blind.
Okay. For many years, Nigeria has had problems with advanced fee fraud.
I see it that way. Unfortunately, again, as the mind, panted, so the body and soul moveth. The example that we begin to see, and that's why I made that in my intro, that you can gain without pain, that you can pain without pain, and that life is all about wine drunk and not wine poured forth. We suddenly saw a situation that optic illusions and magic becomes a thing that everybody wants to have a look at. Our form of education, the colonial education, the British form of education that came to us, sometimes is slow in pacing to normal development. And when the military came, the trajectory changed. So suddenly, we found a situation where you have not been grounded in the arts and science of politics, like Machiavelli will have put, and you just find yourself there, and then you are in wealth. So you do not have the capacity to be able to manage that wealth. You don't have the discipline to manage that wealth, and your thinking is that wealth will continue forever, and so you begin to misapply it. So as we grew in population, if you remember very well, a turning point was about 1963-66, when our politics of ideologues turned into politics of the prebenda, the politics of where you come from. We copied the wrong politics, cobbled together by a lie that the British told us that we are one, put us together, and then we started fighting for who is supposed to take what, and whose child is supposed to go to Eton at that time, and whose son should go to public schools. We had people that strictly wanted to follow the rules, that if you do not learn how to plant, you are not going to be able to reap. But then we also had a culture of people who say that we belong in the same. So if the shirt comes to you, a shirt must come to me, even if I don't produce. Was the beginning of our downturn. We have gone from bad to worse, and rather than face it squarely and take a decision to sit around a table and say we are different in quite a number of respects, but such heterogeneity can still be used as a form of strength. China, population, was able to fathom themselves and got into strength. Japan, much less, but within some space, were able to do a wonders of the world. Israel, even within a much more constricted space, were able to get into science and technology. We were not structured. At one point in time, we were strict, but we allowed that to lax, and so here we are. The thing is going in leaps and bounds.
Okay, let's come to some basic issues. What then can Nigeria do to reverse this trend?
I think a quick take, in my opinion, even without prejudice to what I had painted, which I agree is very grim. That we have, even it's one, if it is two, if it is three, even within this milieu, we still have Nigerians that are doing fantastically well in all areas. Usually when they step out of our shores, they do well, whether it's in sports, whether it's in music, whether it's in, even in fashion, in all fields. Nigerians are about the toppest here and there. So we need to begin to reward and be seen to be rewarding excellence and competence. One way, for instance, is if we give merit awards. Merit awards should not just be all comers. Merit awards could be given to the son or daughter of a cobbler who has demonstrated character, capacity, competence, and a consciousness. Not the people through the osmotic fashion have found themselves in higher concentration and they are politicians, that you are a governor, that you are a president. Yes, it's quite an achievement, but does not necessarily make you to begin to be people that one should be aspiring to follow. So what we need to do is a total reorientation, a total change in our curriculum, a total change in our quest for certification rather than learning. Finland has done something in that direction, and quite a number of other countries are doing things in that direction. At one point in time, it was free education. Yeah, great free education to bring enlightenment. Now we need to change that curriculum and give quality education. The one that you do well, you are highly rewarded. You don't do well, you are highly punished.
Yeah, so it sounds like this issue of curriculum may also need to take care of wrong perceptions, such as we're taking back from them what they took from us during colonialism and slavery.
We must, like Marcus Garvey said, free ourselves, our mind from mental slavery. We should. What is the best fit for us? Going to school and cramming, going to school and being assisted by Kronje. You remember Kronje was the very famous WIC registrar at one point in time, and that became Kronje. That is, you go spy and steal and get convoluted, and then you get sex for marks. That is now what needs to be done. What do we really need to do? Napoleon Bonaparte, at one point in time, after his exploits, now then declared that, his secular system was going to be science and technology. Should we be thinking of science and technology? Do you tell me that that is impossible? Please go to our Silicon Valleys in different parts of this country and wait for it. In Borno State, despite Boko Haram, there is a small Silicon Valley that is developing there, and people who are not necessarily going to school are doing well. I don't want to talk about our computer center in Lagos. I don't want to talk about Abuja. And when we begin to now look at this and say, fit for purpose, okay, what is our factor endowment? It's in Agri. Dr. Akimi Adesina made a very reference to that when he was serving government in Nigeria as the Minister of Agriculture. Whatever it is that you might have learned plus technology, let's go back to the farms and get that on. I know Obasanjo at one point in time did Operation Feed the Nation. I know Shagari came with a green revolution. This may just be talk. Can we get back to IITA, who has been with us since ages, and then begin to see how we can get our arable land to produce and get yield per acre to produce. So we are sitting on, an expanse of land that can fill the world, yet we are hungry. There's a lot of water that we can use to nourish ourselves. So, Fred Tennyson, yes. Water everywhere, not a single word to drink. We just need to get and pull ourselves back from our short-sightedness and then get that curriculum to do a fit for purpose. The NYSC needs to now be revamped. If you don't want to scrap it, can we now begin to think of technology? Can we begin to think of agri? Can we begin to think of engineering? Can we think of science and technology and mathematics? Yes, that's not putting the arts in bay. Can we get some of our poets that will ginger us with nice prose that will get us into the real drama of winning ways again in this country?
Now, let's take the matter home because of our time. What is your message to the youth?
My message to the youth, hopefully, they will imbibe. And in making this message to the youths, I recognize that I've been a youth before. Usually, just like I'm sitting down, you see, and I have 2 ears. Youths, you have 2 ears. One message will come through one of the ears, you process it and allow it to go out the other way. Most of the times, you get away with it. You believe that favor and luck. There is absolutely nothing like favor and luck. I know there is grace and there is mercy, but you need to harness them and believe in the narrow path. Whatever it is that you are doing in terms of cybercrime and colluding with others here and there, the arm of the law will eventually catch up with you. Unfortunately, when you have moved to the other side, you are incapable of the kind of regrets that some of your Gen Zs would have gone through. I mean, if you went into Vietnam now, a billionaire has just been sentenced to death. Quite a number of Nigerians, for one drug offense or for one cybercrime or the other, have been beheaded. They never knew. They always thought they would go in. One way that is constant, it may be slow, it may be steady, but that will sustain you for long, and you will see people around you smiling and being very happy, is to go through industry and apply yourself. Be a multitasker, making sure that technology is the enabler in whatever that you want to do. Technology being the enabler, and then character, capacity, compassion, and of course, making sure that you pursue your dreams, you pursue your interests and your goals. Know what you like. Politely let the whole world know that this is what you like. It's not negative, and you're going to get there.
Thank you so much for your time on this podcast.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.